In this video, we're going to show you how you can create the variants under a product number. So we created a parent product, which we want to have variants underneath it. So I'm going to go into this. You can see I've got nothing. Now, in the last video, what we did was create some variant options, size and color, which had some options. But equally, we can use this to create a unique set of variants. So we can either use templates or we can create them from scratch. So go into the product under the variant tab here. We're going to press this add edit function. What you can see, there are some particular rules about creating new ones and old ones, which I'll list in a subsequent video. It can also, if you're deleting items that have transactional data, you don't want to do that. So the system sort of, doesn't allow that to happen. So if you create a variant that you've used in a price list, on an invoice, on a sales order, on a quote, you won't be able to delete it. You can make it inactive, but you can also create new ones, and in some instances you can change descriptors or things if you've got things wrong, but they have knock-on effects. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the product variant options. So if I'm looking at this, my option would be red, black, medium lavender, in this instance, size 10. So that's basically what I'm creating. I'm creating lists like this. So if I'm adding this, I can either enter something, I can select, from a template. So in this instance, I'm creating, I've already pre-created these in the previous area. So, I might not want the royal blue, the red one, so I could just delete it. Or, I could just add a value because, all of a sudden we've got lavender, in there. So it gives me the ability to work from a template, which I've pre-prepared, and then just add those parts that I don't need, within this. I can equally change the way in which, I want the variant to display. So it could be a drop down, a drop down of some description. It could be a rectangle list. It could be a swatch, you're selecting, a color or some form of tabletop, element or whatever. But the system allows you to do all this. In this instance, I'm just going to keep with the main values. Because I'm going to do a swatch, it's asking me to select a color. So I can have up to 3 different options, 3 different colors. So I could just, knock on the system, find the hex code or RGB or whatever. In this instance, it's that. So we'll just add that into there. So again, just flip down to the hex color, stick the number in, which means I've got to put the hash there. So again, we'll just go into here, go down to the hex area, key in the number. Looks like I've got to actually add it. Need 00324 hash. So I've got my colors in, selected my swatch colors. As you can see, it's added the numbers that I want in them. I could actually add some more. I don't particularly want to in this instance. I could add up to 3 different options. I could say show that one as the default value, when it's coming out. So effectively, from this, I could create the first set of variants that I want to use in this. This is the option value is, the bit that you're going to see here. The code, the SKU that you want to do, this could be red, could be a code. So this could be, it's 01, 02, blah, 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 in terms of how you want to display this. You can also obviously change the label you've used, because this is what you're going to see, when it comes out on a portal, or you're going to send it through to an e-commerce site. In this instance, we're just going to add some different values. So we did one which was just size test. So, I'm quite happy with this. It's going to be a rectangle list or a drop down. Let's just make that a rectangle list. So my code's 06, 08, 10, 12, F10011 within that. And, we'll start with a size 8 as a value. I can move things up within the system, just by dragging and dropping within these displays. So I might want to do that. Put royal blue first, red second, and so on. So I can do these. I can add values. I can delete values. So having deleted that value, I want to bring a value back. Just in terms of the system. So here, what I'm doing is I'm physically able to create, my own, use templates to create the variant options that I want. I could add, a new variant list. So add a value, test1, T1, and so on. So, I'm going to create effectively a set of values or set of variants that are made up of the parent part number, the option name, the size that we're going to use. We've added a further option here, to create the part number. In this instance, I'm just going to delete the option out. So having created my values and options, set my defaults, moved them in terms of my views, updated any option names that I want to use. I'm just saving that down. Option color is missing, so as you can see, we've got an error message coming up here when I try to save this. And this is because basically, although we've created the options, we haven't actually generated the part numbers or the template we want to use to display these. So this is this generate template section down here. So in this instance, and because option color is missing, it means that you haven't generated the template. And the first option that we've got in our list is color. So what I'm going to do here is just press the generate template button. What this is doing is telling me how I want it to be displayed, in terms of what elements I want. So in this instance, I've got a product name, I've got a color, and I've got a size. So if I sort of move this to some other area, then this is gonna change. So obviously, what I'm looking at here is how this display here changes with whatever I'm changing. So this is the purpose of the option generation. So the first part is that, I've got a variant name template. So what it's going to show is it's going to show the product name, which is obviously the brief description of this. So it's going to show cashmere crew neck jumper. The next element that it's going to show is color and then the size. So what I'm going to do is just, because I don't want the dash in between, so make sure you leave the curly brackets in. I'm going to just put, this is, which I'm just taking this out. Just so you can see what I'm doing. So if I generate the template, I've basically got product name, so I don't want the dash between it. So it's going to say cashmere full neck crew neck jumper. The next thing that it's going to say is color, so royal blue or red, and then size. So I'm going to actually just prefix that with size. So it's going to say size 6, size 8, size 10. This. In terms of this is how the code's going to generate. So it's going to generate with the product code F10011. Next is going to be red, right? So red and then -06. But actually what I want to do is just want to change these two round. So I actually want the color at the end. No, we'll keep the color where it is. So we can actually generate this. So this is really just generating the product code that you want to use for the variant. So once I'm happy with what this is doing, I'm just effectively saving the option. When if I go to the variants, you'll come back to this. So in the background, it's actually generating the codes for the various variants that you're going to use. And in about 10-15 seconds, we're going to have a whole set of products codes that are generated. So as you can see, we've generated our codes. So, F10011 red. Hang on, I've missed out a hyphen, which I really wanted to put in there for the SKU. We've now got our descriptors in here. So, if I wanted to go, and I've done this deliberately, I want to go and correct this and actually just put some hyphen in between the 11 and the 1. So I just go back to edit the template here. So product code, and we've missed out a hyphen there. So we'll just save that down, start generating again, and very shortly, hopefully this will have corrected that deliberate mistake I've just made. If I refresh now, what we're seeing is the products actually created. And in the next section, I'm going to show how you can, use digital assets, assign digital assets, against variants as opposed to the parent. So that concludes this section.